They finally did it. They finally nerfed Loki. Find out what's going on as I hereby invite everyone to join me on my adventures through Marvel Snap. Hey everybody, it's Annabelle. So, we got a brand new patch that just came out today, and in that patch, it has basically been the Let's Get Rid of Arishem patch. Arishem is starting to become the big king killer, and the first target that he took out in this patch is Loki. Loki has been changed from a 4-5 to a 3-5, but now instead of him changing the cards that are in your hand and having them cost less, he'll replace your deck with your opponent's starting deck. So even if you're down to one card, when you play Loki, you'll get 12 brand new cards. Those cards will be the exact deck your opponent started with, and then after that point, all of them will be reduced by 1 power, or 1 energy, I should say. And then you get to draw a card. This is kind of an interesting thing for Loki. Kind of changes how Loki plays and kind of changes what's going on with Loki. It's interesting. I hope somewhere down the road they make another card for this where it's like it has power equal to the number of cards in your deck. Because that could be an interesting thing to basically pop on Loki at the last turn. The problem is that you're playing with cards that aren't in your hand yet. You're not having the ability to play out stuff, you're not having the ability to see stuff, and the main reason this happened was because of Arishem. Now, Loki had been a problem with a lot of other things, but it's kind of weird how this has changed, because you get, I'm not sure what deck really wants this right now. I mean, there is a draw on turn 3, and you can play it, and everything gets cheaper. We know that mana cheat is usually good, and you basically do get your opponent's entire hand. So if you're playing this on 3, there's a good chance you're seeing a fair shot of their entire deck. Problem with this is because it doesn't redraw your hand. You're only drawing 1 card, so if your opponent's deck is even made up of like a 3-card normal combo, you only have turn 4, turn 5, and turn 6 to get those 3 cards. That's asking a lot. And technically turn 3. Next card that got hit by this was Leech. Now, Leech has been bounced back and forth and up and down and left and right, and they keep trying to find a way to make Leech be useful but not annoying. And honestly, I think this might be the best iteration of Leech. Leech has gotten changed from a 5-5 to a 4-4, but now instead of him removing the text from all ongoing cards, he'll remove the text from all 6-cost cards. Now, I do wish they would change that to 6-cost and higher, because I would like to see this still hit like Death and maybe Arishem. That'd be kind of funny. But I can see why they didn't do it just because of Death. This is now becoming more of a tech card, more of an interesting card, because there are certain decks where they just don't play 6s, and the cards that you're hoping to get off of this are the big bad 6s. You're looking at the Hela, you're looking at the Null, you're looking at the Arnim Zola. These are still going to be cards that get hit. Next up, they got kicked out by Arishem was Dr. Octopus. Dr. Octopus went from a 4-10 to a 4-8, but instead of him pulling your opponent's entire deck, or until the location is full, I should say, it'll now pull 1 card from your opponent's deck, and that card will be whatever card is currently the lowest. And if there are 2 cards that are tied for the lowest energy, it'll pick one of those cards at random. Interesting little tidbit. I'm not sure this really does a lot, but this is pretty much about the answer that I thought they had to do for Doc Ock for a while, where it pulls one card. Because even pulling one card is annoying for your opponent. The reason it used to pull 4 is because Doc Ock had 4 mechanical arms that did it. So, kind of interesting, kind of a weird change. Now it's no longer Shang-Chi-able, so you don't have to ever worry about your Shang-Chi coming out. The thing is that a lot of the low-cost cards, if your opponent still has them in their deck by turn 4, there's a reason they have it on turn 4. It might either be because A, they couldn't play it early game because now it doesn't make sense in their curve, or it's some sort of like end game change that they're looking for. So it might be something like, here's the Luke Cage or here's the Hazmat. So interesting little tidbit, little change there. Next one that got changed was Blob. Blob got hit for, I think this is the 12th nerf for Blob. Feels like poor Blob just keeps getting nerfed and nerfed and nerfed. Instead of him starting at 15, he now goes to start at 13, or I should say stop at 13. This is kind of a weird change for Blob. I honestly wish that they would take him and make him go from on reveal to just like a static ability so that it only happened once. Because if you change him from on reveal to just a static ability, you can put him back to ongoing and then that'd be fine. Then he doesn't mess with Mystique still. Because the on reveal wouldn't happen, it'd just be a static ability. Or you could just give him the unmovable as part of that static ability. Because I do like the fact that he's immovable. But if you just let it be a static ability where it just happens once, I think that's fine. You can't really copy, there's not too many ways to copy a static ability. I don't think there's a single way to copy a static ability, or, it'd be kind of interesting if they put it as an activate ability, but we'd have to see about that. It's kind of weird to see a Blob be only as good as, like, a Hulk, per se, in most games, where this is supposed to be the big slam down card. And I get that it's a feel bad card, I get that it wins a lane card, but there are no 2s that are doing 14, 15, so I hope they take one more peek at this. Okay, other than that, that's everything that was basically hit by Airsham. Apocalypse. Apocalypse got 2 points back. Yay! It went from a 6-6 to a 6-8. This is kind of necessary for any kind of discard deck to exist in general. Apocalypse is basically has such a hard time. Especially in the early game. Like when you get to the end game, it's possible. But in the early game, he is so hard to get rid of. They almost need to add a part to Apocalypse where he always starts on the right side of your deck. So that no matter what happens, he always keeps staying in that right slots. Because there's so many things that target the right that be interesting. But right now, I'm still not sure if this is going to make APOC be the star of the game anymore. A small change, tiny change, itty bitty teeny tiny change. War Machine went from a 4-6 to a 4-7. Yay! not sure this is going to make War Machine any more powerful. Honestly, I think they could change War Machine so that it affected the rest of the game and he'd be fine. That might actually make him be playable if he actually affected the rest of the game, where it's like, yeah, you can just play wherever you want for the rest of the game with War Machine. Because that's almost what you need for a 4, considering that this is barely any better than a Jeff. And the thing with Jeff is Jeff gets you all the turns to play this, where War Machine gets you 1 turn. I'm not sure that'd be the end of the world. You could even drop a power on that. I'd play 4 or 5 that just said for the next 2 turns I can play wherever I want to. The number of times where I get War Machine and then I get nothing to play on 5, and then I get something good to play on 6, is like, well, it'd be nice to play this. And last but not least is White Widow. Now, White Widow looks exactly the same, but that's because she is exactly the same. Her bite just went down by 1 power, or up by 1 power, not sure how that works. Because her bite now, instead of giving -4, gives -3. I am not sure this really takes too much out of White Widow. It just makes her more on the level of being equal to a lot of the other cards here. The main thing that you did with White Widow and Widow's Kiss was you did stuff like Sinister, where it would fill up all 4 lanes and you automatically win the lane. You do this in Death's Domain, you do this in Alter. It was so good in a lot of those locations. I don't see where this is still not going to be good in this location. This is just basically still a Hobgoblin that your opponent's got to deal with. And for your opponent to deal with it, they got to fill the lane. So you're basically saying, here's a Hobgoblin, but if you can fill the entire lane, it goes away. So those are all the nerfs and all the buffs. A lot of big things that went away. And things like Loki's change make me more interested in what Second Dinner is allowed to do in these OTA patches. Because this change for like Loki used to need to be a season pass change. This is a lot of text for a hot fix, so I am excited to see what's going on. Anyways, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, remember, play full of fun.